Today is Monday, March 18th. Several new things to know today about the New Zealand mosque shootings, from the issue facing victims' families to the man being called a hero. Plus, a new study about the Apple Watch, and get ready for March Madness. Welcome to the Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, today, people around the world continue to mourn after New Zealand's deadliest shooting in modern history. We now know 50 people were killed and more than 24 are still in the hospital from the massacre at two mosques in the city of Christchurch on Friday. A 28-year-old from Australia is the alleged gunman. He was charged over the weekend, and police now believe he acted alone. But today, much of the focus is on the victims, their families, and the heroes who helped that day. USA Today reports a man named Abdul Aziz likely saved a lot of lives. He's said to have distracted the gunman, throwing things at the shooter in his car outside the second mosque, allowing people inside the building to get away and possibly causing the gunman himself to leave sooner. And then there's the two police officers who were able to stop the shooter's car, possibly keeping him from going to yet another location. As for the victims, officials are working to release their bodies as soon as possible. Islamic tradition calls for bodies to be cleansed and buried soon after death, ideally within 24 hours. Well, it's already been days due to the investigation. CNN reports the Prime Minister in New Zealand says they're hoping all families can bury their loved ones by Wednesday. At the same time, there's a new debate about gun laws in New Zealand. Lawmakers there are meeting today to discuss it. And the AP reports the owner of a gun store in Christchurch says the store sold 4 guns to the shooter through a police-verified mail order process. And the country's prime minister said, quote, "There will be changes to our gun laws." One last thing. Facebook said it removed 1.5 million related videos within 24 hours after the shooting. For one, the gunman himself reportedly live-streamed some of the shooting, and now there could be thousands of copies of that video. Facebook also says it took down videos that showed any praise or support for the attack. The company apparently uses both automated technologies and human moderators to find these types of videos and take them down, but critics say they haven't done enough and should be held accountable. There are a few new details and a new investigation now surrounding the 2 deadly plane crashes within the last 6 months. First, Ethiopia's transport minister now says there are, quote, clear similarities between the 2 crashes. First in Indonesia in October, then in Ethiopia about a week ago. USA Today reports he said the black boxes do in fact confirm the other tracking data they have, showing in both flights, pilots had problems controlling the plane shortly after takeoff following similar paths. Reports say it's possible problems with an automated system forced the planes to nosedive. Officials say they plan to release more details within a month. Remember, both planes were a Boeing 737 MAX 8, and now countries around the world have stopped using that model of aircraft. And Boeing is facing even more scrutiny. The New York Times reports the company promised a software update by the end of last year after that first crash, but it never happened. Boeing is working on an update now that it says will make an already safe airplane safer. Also, the Wall Street Journal reports the U.S. Department of Transportation is now investigating the FAA, or the Federal Aviation Administration, apparently looking into the process the FAA used to approve those 737 MAX jetliners. To be continued. Parts of the Midwest are dealing with intense flooding. Rivers are hitting record high levels, and hundreds of people are now evacuated, many living in shelters. Parts of Iowa, Missouri, and Nebraska have been hit the hardest. CNN says in Nebraska, it's the worst flooding in 50 years, with farms, homes, bridges, and highways damaged or destroyed. The AP reports at least 2 people have died and 2 are missing. Unfortunately, AccuWeather says things could get worse. Forecasters are calling for more rain this week. Tens of thousands of patients may no longer need open heart surgery. New research says an alternative option is just as effective with even shorter recovery time. 2 large clinical trials show more patients could benefit from a procedure known as TAVR. Not just older patients who may not survive open heart surgery. It could be available to younger ones too. Some doctors told the New York Times it will likely change the standard of care. The FDA is expected to approve the procedure for more patients. Speaking of the heart, a large new study says the Apple Watch can in fact spot heart problems, at least sometimes. The AP reports more than 400,000 people signed up for the study, which Apple funded, and it was the largest study to ever screen everyday seemingly healthy people for AFib, which is a condition that can cause strokes. While there is still a lot of work to be done on this topic, The Guardian reports researchers found the watch warned about 0.5% of the 2,000 people that might have a problem. Researchers say this study has very encouraging evidence that devices like Apple Watches can be used to point out heart problems without causing panic or confusion to too many people. But a lot more research needs to be done, and it's still up to the patient to actually see a doctor even after getting that warning on the watch. Much more news ahead, but first, a quick thanks to our sponsor today, HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that does all the shopping and planning for you, so it makes dinner time easy, convenient, and actually fun. It lets my husband and I actually enjoy the process of cooking during the week instead of needing to stress out about it. We've made everything from sweet and smoky pork chops with apple carrot slaw, mashed potatoes and cherry sauce, to chicken quesadillas with sweet peppers, caramelized onion, and pico de gallo. I never would have thought I could make those recipes. They're so good, yet it was all so easy. I don't have time to plan or shop for the week. Instead, HelloFresh brings fresh, pre-measured ingredients right to my door with easy-to-follow recipes that always turn out great. Plus, there's no food waste. And you can choose from classic veggie and family plans and switch it up anytime. And this month, you can actually get $80 off your first month with HelloFresh. That's like receiving 8 meals free, more than we've offered before. So try it out now at HelloFresh.com/newsworthy80 and enter the code newsworthy80. Again, $80 off at HelloFresh.com/newsworthy80 and enter that code newsworthy80. Now back to the news. All right, get your brackets ready, or at least be ready for your coworkers to be talking about it. March Madness has begun. It's time to pick which teams you think will win each matchup. 68 Division I college basketball teams will play in the NCAA tournament. The number 1 seeds are Duke, Virginia, North Carolina, and Gonzaga. Basically, the selection committee's best guesses about who could win it all. If rumors are true, you could see a new gaming platform from Snapchat as early as next month. Cheddar cites sources saying Snapchat may allow outside developers to create games to work within the Snapchat app. This could be a great way for Snapchat to make more money through in-app purchases or ads, but the company has not confirmed it just yet. Disney's Captain Marvel did it again. It topped the box office charts for the second weekend in a row. The superhero movie premiered the weekend before, but its second weekend still brought in $69 million, and it already made $760 million globally. At this rate, Variety says Captain Marvel could hit the $1 billion mark soon. All right, a quick fun update for you. April the giraffe gave birth to her 5th baby this weekend. And as expected, hundreds of thousands of viewers tuned in to watch the delivery live on YouTube. April the giraffe became a sort of star when another birth was live streamed back in 2017 from the small zoo in New York. Well, it's a boy this time. The calf does not have a name just yet. And that's it. You are all caught up from the weekend. I am loving the reviews on Apple Podcasts. I read them all, so please keep them coming if you get value out of the show. And remember, if you want to read more about any of the stories we mentioned today, just go to the homepage of thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and then look for today's date. You'll find all the story sources and links right there. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day.